Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. Time for an edited video on making the registration plates for the Bedford ML. There it is. So this is the number plate, the actual number plate holder or number plate base. And here's my number plate printed out on paper. There, I've cut it out using the cutter. And now I'm going to use glue and glaze to fit it to the number plate holder. And that's easy. In this case here, I'm going to have to cut two separate lines here and align them properly on the number plate holder. Once the glue is set, I'll overpaint them with a bit of gloss varnish just to blend everything in to give them that kind of metal shiny effect. So it'll also cover some of the pixeling of the printer, pixeling, the graininess, but apart from the fact it's very, very small, so we're not really looking at it with a magnifying glass. Okay, right, next step. Very well, so I've cut out the registration plates from the paper, and I've not glued them onto the number plate holders yet. I've just sort of positioned them there. It's a test. It's a fitting test, so they're okay. This is easy. We're just a wee spot of glue and glaze and we go on. In this case here, I'll be a wee bit more tricky because there's two parts. You can see because there's a big space in between, and there was no way I could reduce the spacing on Publisher. So, excuse me. And now I'm going to have to glue them in. These parts, I painted them on the sprue, and I just cut them off and filed them. They still need a wee bit of touch up, maybe a wee bit of more black paint over there, in particular the brackets, and that'll be where the tail light is. And then I'm going to have to make another wee support on the left side for the other tail light. I'm not bothering fitting indicators because at this point here, in origin, Bedford MLs didn't have indicators, flashing indicators. They had just trafficators or hand signals, so I'm not going to bother with that. Or if I want to put them, I'll just fit them under the bumper. Not on the mudguards. Another position were generally fitted on the mudguards, but I'm not doing it. I just like the black mudguards as they are. I've been looking at lots and lots of photographs, so anyway, that's that. Right, let's get these glued on. Right, I've managed to glue the number plates, the paper number plates, onto the number plate holders using glue and glaze. I'm going to let them set dry in this small vessel. This is what remains of a pill cutter. This is actually the part where you crush pills in, but blade came off the thing yesterday. It broke. I bought a new one, and I was about to chuck it in a plastic bin, and I thought, oh no, I'll keep this. This is useful. So that's it. Big containers are always useful when you're doing these kind of jobs here. Right, so that's done. Next step. So as I told you before, I haven't bothered touching up the black paint around the number plates around and everything. I'm going to do that once the glue's set, because this way there's maybe some white kind of borders when I cut the paper. I'll touch that up, it won't be visible anymore. And then I'm planning to apply a spot of varnish to the number plate, so gloss varnish. In fact, I'm going to do a test right now on a piece of paper to see how it comes. If it doesn't, and that'll sort of blend everything in and make the number plate really stand out nicely. So it'll stand out, let's say like that, like this one. This is factory decal. Yes, whatever. Okay, see, that's nice. But honestly, it would have been a waste of resources to make a decal for such a small thing. Plus, it would have made things more complicated. Paint the number plate. apply some white marker pen to the number plate, then put the thing in. Too much chaos. This is small, easy, no problem, very legible. Okay, right, see, next step coming along soon. While I'm waiting for the registration plate glue to dry, there it is, there they are in there, I've cut a length of 0.45 millimeter diameter chrome plated copper wire to make the exhaust pipe, because this lorry has not got any exhaust pipe. So the exhaust pipe will be running along the chassis member here. It'll be slightly behind it, on the behind there. Here I'm looking at a video which I'll include in the description box, where we see it hanging right underneath, bolted on internally. There you see the bolts there for the bracket support, the silencer support. So I'm making a very simple thing, and we'll just glue it internally. Some lorries, some Bedford MLs and O's, it hangs lower, some it stays high, some it stays higher. I'm going to sort of conceal it a little bit behind the chassis member, no? And I have to make the silencer. To make the silencer, I'm going to use a small piece, a short length of heat shrink tube. So I'll fit that, then I'll paint it, and then I'll glue it on. So that's the next little job. Let's see, at least to get that done ready. Very well. So I've made an exhaust pipe and silencer using a piece of 0.45 millimeter diameter wire, and a little wee piece of heat shrink. Trying to get this in focus, but it's not cooperating. And now I'm going to let the glue and glaze dry, because I shrunk the heat shrink using a lighter, and but anyway, I didn't want to shrink it too much and burn it, so I just fitted a wee bit of glue, but it's completely invisible. There's no going in focus. There it is. You can see it now. The glue will set, and once that's set, we'll paint this a sort of rusty brown kind of colour, exhaust pipe colour. And then we'll glue it in position under the lorry. In the meantime, these things here will dry. Righto, exhaust pipe is ready. Right, so what's happened now? I painted the sides of the number plates with gloss black. I also painted, even here on the rear plate, I also touched up the joints of the upper and lower line of the registration plate there. Then at the end, the registration plates will be painted over with a spot of gloss varnish, as I did on this little test here, FYS 327, it's a Glasgow registration. Then I also painted the exhaust pipe and silencer. And what colours did I use to obtain that kind of greyish brown rusty colour? So leather brown mixed with spot of matte black, then grey, so leather brown, sky grey, matte black, silver. And this way we got this colour, which is now, you can see it drying here. It's a kind of dirty kind of brownish grey with a touch of metal in it. And I also made a little kind of wee outrigger for the left hand side tail light here, which will be glued on right there on the left side of the chassis, rear chassis dead irons. You can see there above the spare wheel. So number plate on the right and the other outrigger on the left. We'll be doing this, of course, with glue and glaze. So that's all for the moment. Next video will be a single take where we fit all this stuff on the lorry. Hope you enjoyed the video. Cheerio, and see you next time. And happy Liberation Day, because today it's 25th of April, and in Italy we celebrate the liberation, the end of the Second World War. and it's the 80th anniversary of the liberation. We'll actually dedicate a video to that this weekend. Cheerio, and see you next time.